Hey Eagles fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into the Eagles Report. And today, Stefon Diggs wants out of Minnesota. Should the Eagles go ahead and trade for him? That and more. Let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so the big news out of Minnesota this week is that Stefon Diggs might want to trade. Now, you're going to read a lot of articles saying Diggs wants out for sure. He demands a trade. No, it's not the case. What happened was this week, Stefon Diggs deleted all Vikings-related pictures from his Instagram. Yep, that's what everyone is freaking out about right now, is that he just deleted all Vikings-related pictures on Instagram. Now, if you use Instagram, you understand that that's kind of what you do whenever you break up with a girlfriend and you delete all the pictures of her off of your Instagram. So maybe he's hinting at a potential breakup with the Minnesota Vikings, although not so fast, says a big-time NBC Vikings reporter. He downplayed the entire notion of the trade, explaining that the team realizes that Diggs is being Diggs and that sometimes he will say and do things and do something suggesting he wants out. Remember a couple of months ago, I should say, during the regular season, they had a Week 4 loss to the Bears, and Diggs skipped a couple of workouts days before they were, essentially worked everything out and put him back on the squad, and he was fine. So he missed a couple of workouts there, Week 4 against the Bears. Everyone said, oh my gosh, trade. Philadelphia was mentioned as a potential target, and then they figured things out, and they went on going to the division round of the postseason. So should the Eagles trade for him? Different story, right? Will he be traded? Not confirmed yet. Should the Eagles trade for him? 100%. If there was one wide receiver this offseason, I think the Philadelphia Eagles should go ahead and try and get, it would be Stefon Diggs. This is one of the elite wide receivers in the National Football League. He is basically Odell Beckham Jr. light. Like, he's very similar in terms of skill set to Odell Beckham Jr. Now, does he come with a little bit of baggage? Sure, but he seems to be a little bit less of a distraction than what Odell is, because Diggs does petty things behind the scenes, whereas Odell was just petty in general for the New York Giants and eventually got traded to the Cleveland Browns. Here's the deal. He's owed $10.9 million this year, with a cap number of $14.5 million, but trading him would only clear $5.5 million in cap space, resulting in a $9 million cap charge. So the Eagles would essentially get him. They'd have to pay him about $10.9 million this year, and then re-sign him going into the 2021 season, because he would be an unrestricted free agent. Now, I see a lot of comments that are going to come in saying, no way, do we really want a guy like Stefon Diggs? He's going to obviously be a huge distraction for Philadelphia. We don't want a distraction on this team. I'd argue most of the star wide receivers in the National Football League, not named DeAndre Hopkins or Julio Jones, are a little bit of divas. Now, does that mean the Eagles should not touch him because he could potentially be a diva? No. I think the Eagles need to pair Carson Wentz with a star #1 wide receiver, as a lot of other great teams have done with their great quarterbacks. Drew Brees had Michael Thomas, still has Michael Thomas. Matt Ryan has Julio Jones. Deshaun Watson has DeAndre Hopkins. Like, great quarterbacks are normally paired with great wide receivers. The only one that really hasn't been is Tom Brady, although he had Randy Moss for a season. So you would see that if we put Carson Wentz with an elite wide receiver, I think it only takes Carson Wentz's upward trajectory, and makes it even higher and just boosts him into the level of elite quarterbacks that we expect him to be at. Last year, he's throwing to practice squad guys and still had fantastic numbers and got the team to the postseason. Imagine the same practice squad guys, plus healthy Zach Ertz, plus healthy Dallas Goedert, plus a Stefon Diggs. This offense could take another enormous leap forward into getting a lot better. Now, what would it take to go ahead and trade for Stefon Diggs? Probably a second or a third round pick. Now, it wouldn't take a first. You saw what Antonio Brown took to leave the Pittsburgh Steelers and go to Oakland. It was a third and a fifth, I believe. He was very disgruntled. Pittsburgh basically just wanted him out of there, but you wouldn't expect Stefon Diggs to command a first. The Eagles have multiple picks in the second and third round. I think 4 picks in the first 3 rounds, 2 in the second round. So you could easily give a second-round draft pick, maybe a second and a fifth, and get a guy like Stefon Diggs who could be an instant impact on the Eagles' offense. Even if they did do that, I would still look at a wide receiver at number 21 overall. I've said before, this offseason, Philadelphia needs to come away with 2 new wide receivers. Whether that's in free agency, whether that's a trade, whether that's draft, you've got to come away with 2 new wide receivers, because you are going to lose Nelson Aguilar, and there's a potential down the line, once he's healthy, to lose a guy like Alshon Jeffrey. So 2 wide receivers make sense. Can you imagine Philadelphia trading for Stefon Diggs and then signing Robbie Anderson, or trading for Stefon Diggs and then drafting Henry Ruggs or Jerry Jeudy or T. Higgins? Like, that would make the Eagles so much better on offense. Overall, I would love to do this trade and make it happen. Again, we're in the very beginning stages. He has not demanded for a trade. He just has said that, hey, listen, I'm going to delete all the pictures of the Vikings on my Instagram, and we'll see where it goes from here. He has been in a little bit of a tussle of ruffling of feathers with the Minnesota Vikings for the past year and a half, and the question will be, has it come to the breaking point, and if they are offered a good package, would the Vikings be willing to move off of him? Because if you remember, the Vikings were a divisional round team this past year. They upset the New Orleans Saints on the road. They have Kirk Cousins, who's not elite by any stretch of the imagination, but still a good quarterback. They have a great defense, great pass rushers, one of the best young running backs in the league in Dalvin Cook. They already have Adam Thielen, Rudolph, the tight end. It's a good overall team, and you got to wonder, would they be willing to part with arguably their best receiver, which would make the team a little bit worse. So there's a lot of moving pieces here when it comes to Stefon Diggs, but he was ruffling the feathers back week 4 against the Bears. He's doing it again right now, and if he does eventually demand a trade, I think Philadelphia has got to be one of those teams that makes it a priority to go ahead and trade him. I would not give up a first. You can get another wide receiver, a younger, cheaper wide receiver, but I would give up a second, I'd give up a third, I'd give up a second and a fifth to go ahead and trade for a guy like Stefon Diggs to make the Eagles a lot better. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section down below. Should we trade for Stefon Diggs? I want to hear from you guys. Would you rather, here, I'll give you guys a scenario. Would you rather trade for Stefon Diggs, or would you rather go into free agency and sign a free agent wide receiver like an A.J. Green, like a Robbie Anderson, like a Rashad Perryman? Which route would you rather go? I would argue Diggs is the best receiver available right now, even though, again, he's not technically available. But I would say younger Stefon Diggs is better than older A.J. Green, but Green would be cheaper in the long run, and you wouldn't have to give up draft picks for him. So there's a very much, a weighted scale of what you want to do in terms of Stefon Diggs versus an A.J. Green. But I think overall, if you could have any wide receiver who might be available in the NFL, I would really be interested in going ahead and getting Stefon Diggs. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Whatever happens, I'll say it one more time. The Eagles have got to get out of this offseason with 2 new weapons. Right? 2 new weapons for sure, and they've got to be wide receivers. I think you've got to get at least a deep threat because we don't know how long Deshaun Jackson's going to be left on this team, how much gas he has left in the tank, and then also just an elite star receiver. Jerry Jeudy would be perfect for that. Jeudy plus Diggs plus Alshon for 1 more year. Deshaun Jackson, it quickly turns into one of the best wide receiving corps in the National Football League. So we'll have to go ahead and wait and see, but I love the idea of trading for Stefon Diggs, and the fact that it's very, very early in the process might indicate real potential here for our Philadelphia Eagles to get better. Howie Roseman, he's very good at these sort of trades. I think he makes a move this offseason. Maybe Stefon Diggs is one of those moves. Now, before we go on, be sure to subscribe to the Eagles Report. 4,700 subs right now. We're going to be 200 away from 5,000 very, very quickly. We're the fastest growing Eagles channel here on YouTube. People are commenting down below, how did you grow so fast? It's not hard. We have really good content. We get you guys the content on time, and we also don't have any of this rah-rah BS in terms of just joking around about the Eagles. We give you the news, we give you our opinion on it, and then we get out of there, and that's why we're growing so fast, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So, if you're new to the channel, this is the first video you've seen, go back, watch some of the older videos. They'll be pinned up here. Just click on them, click on the channel. You guys know how to do this. It's just YouTube. It's not that hard. If you like what you see, which I hope that you do, go ahead and click the red subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate that because I really want to hit 5,000 subs in just a couple of months. That'd be a great milestone for us here. The more subscriptions, the more likes, the more videos I can do during the week. Normally Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This video coming out on a Wednesday evening shows that we're going to do multiple videos a week, not just the 3 that we are scheduled to do on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. All time we have for today for the Eagles Report. Can we please get a wide receiver? And listen, I want to see a lot of comments down below saying, oh my goodness, too much drama, no way, don't do it, draft somebody. I understand, and I get that. But I think a guy like Stefon Diggs paired with Carson Wentz could be an elite and dangerous combo in the National Football League. Dak has had Amari Cooper for a while. It is time for us to get our elite wide receiver, and Diggs could be that via a trade. All time we have for today. For the Eagles Report, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day. Did you like that video? Thanks for watching, but why don't you click this video right here, because we did it just a couple of days ago, and guess what? It's about the Eagles too. Like that video? Why don't you subscribe right down here? That way you're notified whenever we release more videos here on the Eagles Report. It's the fastest growing Eagles channel here on YouTube. Video, subscribe, click them right now. Go ahead, click them. Did you like that video? Thanks for watching, but why don't you click this video right here, because we did it just a couple of days ago, and guess what? It's about the Eagles too. Like that video? why don't you subscribe right down here? That way you're notified whenever we release more videos here on the Eagles Report. It's the fastest growing Eagles channel here on YouTube. Video, subscribe, click them right now. Go ahead, click them.